All right, so here I am, car in pieces as usual. Just kidding. It's actually been doing pretty well this weekend. So today, well, in the previous video, I talked about how my oil pressure was dropping. So I got this. It's a drop-in baffle, but it's not the Clockwise. It's a Skunk2. Of course, being skeptical because it's Skunk2 and I don't really trust Skunk2 too much, but this is being offered cheaper than the Clockwise. So I thought that maybe I could and I didn't really see any like good reviews on baffles for the K20. Like I looked online and like nobody's talking about anything, so I was like, well, maybe I could do a review on this one and see how it does in comparison to the Clockwise. Now, one thing about oil baffles is, so you see these trap doors? With this, they should have actually like kind of like bent the edges in. I don't really have anything that's I could do to bend this. It's way too thick. I don't really have any leverage to bend it. But basically what that does is it helps keep these from sticking, because when oil gets surrounded all around this little trap door, it might suction cup it to the wall here, and it might take a little bit more weight of the oil to push down on it to open it up, which could cause a little bit of starvation. Now, granted, I have an oil pressure gauge, as I showed in the previous video. So if that does happen, you know, I could turn the car off immediately if I see that the oil pressure is dropping and it's not coming back or whatever in the straights. Because of course, well, even if it drops in the corners, because this should make it to where I should be able to run the amount of liters of oil that I'm supposed to run without having to run an extra amount, hopefully. And yeah, if I drop oil pressure, I'll just turn the car off and let them tow it off the track or whatever has to be done, or maybe try to turn it back on, see if it will get the pressure back. I don't know. But yeah, I thought I would do a review on it, you know, see how it does on a track day. So it would be a cheaper option for people. So right now, I have to basically take the oil pan down. So what I like to do is I just loosen up the front mount up there. I loosen that up. As you can see, I dropped it a little bit, and I loosen up the mounts right here, or the bolts right here. I not loosen them up, but I took them out. That way I can drop the subframe without actually pulling the subframe all the way off, so I can actually still leave everything attached and get the oil pan out. So I started pretty much already. I lost my 10mm wrench, so I had to go get another one, but the store was closed when I started last night. So I just got these 3 bolts left and I can take the oil pan off. So let me get started. Okay, so I got the oil pan out, and looks like there's no shavings. Well, actually, there's a little bit. Hopefully my engine's not trying to go on. I mean, it's not knocking or anything, so. Let's try to save this thing before something does happen. I'm gonna let that drain all the way out, and I'll show you guys the baffle inside of it. I had mostly had to drop this side of the subframe, mostly because I have a oil pump baffle already. But you'll notice how the doors are bent, so it always has a little space, so it can't get that little suction that happens when the oil's on it. So yeah, they did right when they did that. So, but as you can see, I didn't have to drop the subframe all the way. I had to drop it a little bit more on this side just to clear the baffle. As you can see, this side's still pretty up, you know. So all I have to do is just put the bolts in. Also, I forgot to tell you guys, you gotta take the sway bar bolts out too. This is my first time running the sway bar up front, so I forgot to do that. So I took them out and I was able to get some more clearance. So there you go. Okay, so online I got some comments that said something along the lines as they had to trim it. It looks like it just set flat inside of here. Yep, nice and flush down up in here, pretty flush. I didn't have to do any trimming. Oh, sorry. I didn't have to do any trimming. One thing I noticed is these doors actually have like a degree of how they stay open even when the car is sitting upright. When it's sitting upright, these doors actually try to stay open. Maybe that's a little bit of a mitigation of the door sticking, because on mine, this pump right here, you'll see how sitting flat, it's trying to close, you know, it tries to close. So, we'll see how that works out, if that actually mitigates it sticking or not. We'll see. But yeah, I push them, they open back up. So, all right. Skunk2 oil baffle. That's where the other oil plug is. All right, now I'm gonna clean this surface down right here and put some more RTV or Honda Bond, whatever I got, and then clear the surface on the block too. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm having all kinds of trouble getting this thing in here. I noticed on the Clockwise baffle, this is actually flat instead of sticking out. And as you can see, I think my oil pump's kind of scratching up against it trying to go in, including this door as well. So I'm gonna try to take this one off, because I'm guessing that this one just kind of blocks the oil from sloshing around when there's under braking, which I don't really have an oil pressure problem when I'm braking. It's mostly in the corners. So I'm gonna see if I can get it on just taking that one off. Okay, so I got closer this time, but I think this still, might need to like try to trim this before trying to take it off. So maybe that was what they were talking about when they said that it needs trimming. And this bolt seems to have tried to work itself free a little bit. But we'll see about that. Yeah, so far it's a typical Skunk2 crap shit quality. They had a chance to prove the naysayers wrong, but it looks like they proved the naysayers right every time. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to trim this up. It worked a lot better with this off. So I guess Clockwise, they made it flat. Like this is an indentation right here and the door stays flat. But maybe that is part of the reason why it got a couple complaints about the door sticking, since it's not hanging outwards like this and it's a flat door. That probably could easily stick, not to mention there's not going to be that much oil weight on this side to be pushing on the door. So we'll see. I'm gonna trim this down. All right, so I shaved it down. I need to actually shave all this back off and recoat it, but I'm just gonna try it out just to test fit it. If it still doesn't work, I'll just have to get rid of that trap door and sacrifice another trap door. I mean, I'm eventually gonna go with unit 2 anyway, but I just wanted to do this just to make a video about it, really. So I'll probably just go with unit 2 sooner or later. It only takes me like 30 minutes when I'm not struggling trying to get this working. So it only takes me 30 minutes to take the oil pan off. So, all right, everything is back on, and yeah, so going over the install, I would definitely try to go with Clockwise. I had to trim down one of the doors. I took off another trap door, and I finally got it to install on better. Now, granted, if you had the engine out the car or the subframe dropped all the way to where you could fit the oil pan in many different kind of ways, maybe it would work. I don't know. But for so far, it looks like I had to do a lot of trimming, and I had to remove a trap door. So it is on, and I will give you guys a heads up if anything goes wrong, if I see any bad pressures or anything like that. And thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a good rest of the week. Peace.